Alright, so fully classified income statements for a goods business. This is exercise 10 and it's in your books on page 14. So you can see that I've already gone ahead and done part 1 here, and part 1 consists of classifying our trial balance. So purchases, opening and closing inventory, freight in and customs duty are all labelled as COGS, which we know stands for cost of goods sold. Sales is income, wages are an administration expense in this case because we don't know who those wages are going to specifically. Advertising is a distribution cost. Rates, phone, repairs and insurance are all administration expenses, and interest received is other income. So if you're unsure on how to do that, then either ask me or have a look at my other video. So I want to get on to part 2, which is this bit down here, where we actually go ahead and do our income statements. So I've already kind of started here where I put revenue, but if you remember, the purpose of an income statement is to calculate our net profit. Okay, and we do that by going income minus expenses equals our net profit. So what I want to do is I want to split this up into 4 sections. The first section we're going to do is income minus cost of goods sold, which equals gross profit. So I've got revenue here, and I'm going to start off by putting sales in revenue, because if we look up here, sales is the main source of income that we have. So for sales, I'm going to put that in the third column all the way over here. Now, the reason we put those in the third column I have explained in class, but again, if you want to look at that, please do ask me. So, sales is 300,000, and then I'm going to go less cost of goods sold. So now I need to be putting in my cost of goods sold. I'm going to start with opening inventory, which if you look up the top there should be 25,000. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go plus purchases, if I can spell it. Okay, and then I'm going to put in 150,000 for that. So quite a lot of purchases. I'm also going to plus freight in, which is 2,000. Finally, I'm going to plus customs duty, which is 1,400. So I've plussed all those together. What I'm going to do is put a line underneath here, okay, to signify that I'm totaling those up. So if I add all those together, what I get is $178,400. So I've got what I started with here, and then all of the inventory that I've bought plus the cost of getting it in there. So now I need to minus or less my closing inventory. And that is $20,000. And then I'm going to put a line under that as well, because what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take this and minus closing inventory off to get myself cost of goods sold. So cost of goods sold is equal to 158,400. So 178,400 minus 20,000. So now I can calculate my gross profit. So gross profit, I'm going to look here and I'm going to say, well, my sales are 300,000. My cost of goods sold, that is the amount that it cost me to get those things that I've sold, is 158,400. So I'm going to go 300,000 minus 158,400. It's 141,600. And that is the end of that first part there, where I've gone income minus cost of goods sold equals gross profit. Okay, so I've got my gross profit now, I need to focus on that next section, which is gross profit plus other income equals total income. So I'm going to start by going plus other income. And the only type of other income I have is interest received. So I'm going to go ahead and put that straight all the way over in this column here. And the reason for that is that I've only got one thing. So if you want, you could also put it in here, and that's what I would be doing if I had more than one type of other income. Completely up to you, I just usually am a little bit lazy about it. So that's all of my other income. So now I need to go gross profit plus other income equals my total income. So this here plus this here should be equal to this here. And that will give me $143,200. So that's it for calculating total income. The next section, we want to calculate our total expenses. And we're going to do that by going distribution costs plus administration expenses plus finance costs equals total expenses. So let's start with here by going less expenses. And the first category we have is distribution expenses. And I only have one thing in distribution expenses. That's advertising. So with advertising, normally I'd go and write one there and then the next one there, but I've only got one, so I'm going to go all the way over to there with it. And that's it for my distribution expenses. Then I go to administration expenses. And again, you can leave a line there if you want, if you've got space. And I've got quite a few administration expenses if we look up here. I've got wages, rates, phone, repairs, and insurance. So I've got to fit all of those in there. So, start with wages, 40,000. Then I'm going to go rates, which is equal to 5,000. And then phone, which is 5,000. And repairs, which is 1,400. And then insurance, which is 2,000. And all that information has come from up here. That's why we have to do all our classifying first. So I've got all of these here. What I need to do now is total them up. So I have the total for my administration expenses. And that gives me 53,400. Now normally I would also put finance costs down here and do those along with my distribution and administration. But I don't actually have any finance costs if we look up here. So what am I going to do about that? Well, I'm not going to put them in at all. I'm just going to skip ahead to the next part, which is total expenses. And I get this by adding these two together. So I'm going to put a line under here. Signify that that's being totaled up. And I'm going to go 5,000 plus 53,400. And that should equal $58,400. So I've got my next lot there, which was total expenses, which I calculated going distribution costs or expenses, administration expenses, plus finance costs if I had any. And that would give me total expenses. So now that I've got that, I can go into the very last section, which is calculating my net profit. And I get that by going total income minus total expenses equals net profit. So, net profit, and I just like to make it big and bold so everyone knows. We're going to calculate that by going total income minus or less total expenses equals net profit. And I get $84,800 for that. And that's it. That's my income statement done.